Hey, welcome back for Unit 7 of our American History 2 course here at Waldorf University. And this week we're moving into the turbulent 1960s, 1970s and taking a specific look at the Civil Rights Movement and the Vietnam War. So as we take a look at this, I'll have the other discussion board video up, which will talk about the question that's centered on television. To what extent did television shape American life and politics during this time period and beyond? And I hope we'll have a good discussion over there. I'll have the other video up in there as well. The big thing you got to focus on this week is your Unit 7 essay. And this is kind of interesting. It's going to bring together some different things we've been talking about in the course. So at its basic level, we want to talk about how civilian Americans kind of formed global attitudes during this time period leading into the Vietnam War era and the American Civil Rights era and these things that are happening late 1960s, early 1970s that we're taking a look at. So how this links into other things is global attitudes are going to start to develop early in the United States. People have always had global attitudes or opinions about the role of the United States at home and abroad from the earliest years of the Republic. But I think during the 20th century and throughout this class, we've seen a lot of change to that. Starting with the World Wars and then moving into the Cold War, Americans started to consider our role outside of our borders as we kind of ceased to be just a developing country and a major leader on the world stage. So as we take a look at this, we can see this playing out in a couple of different ways. So Vietnam might be the easier one to see. The idea that many people in the United States during this time period were divided on the question of Vietnam. Many people were being drafted and sent over to fight in a war that was often called a proxy war, or part of kind of stopping the fall of communist dominoes in Southeast Asia. And as this war kind of drug on, became more costly in terms of both financial indicators, but as well as in terms of American lives, people became increasingly frustrated. This drove all sorts of movements throughout the country. Many people, or what Nixon called the silent majority, felt that the United States was doing the right thing. We were being a global power and making sure to protect capitalism around the world. Many other people, especially in the anti-war movement and some of the subsidiary movements that developed out of that, like the hippies, some of those kind of things, are going to kind of take a less favorable view of the role of the United States abroad. And there's many people you could look at as you put together your essay. There's all these source requirements I want you to take a look at and be cognizant of as you go into it. We want to be using these high quality sources we've been talking about the whole course. Now, the other thing to focus on in this is the American Civil Rights Movement. You may think about this as being a largely American thing, but this had a lot to do with America on the global stage during this time period. Other countries, the USSR or Soviet Union, foremost among them, openly criticized America for the lack of civil rights for minority populations throughout the country. And as the civil rights movement develops, this shapes people's attitudes about the United States at home and the United States abroad, and if we're going to be a world leader, what kind of things we need to provide our own citizenry and what kind of safeguards for liberty and justice we need to provide. So I want you to be thinking about these things, putting together that Unit 7 essay. If you got questions, make sure you're reaching out. I am here to help, as always. Also this week, take a look at the end of course survey. You might have noticed I try to put a lot of thought into how I put together this course. I hope you're learning all sorts of things. And I would appreciate if you took a few minutes to just fill out that course survey. Let me know what's working for you in particular, what things might I improve in the future. I'm always trying to make these courses better, and I teach them quite often. So let me know if you have a chance. Otherwise, put your best foot forward this week. Let's finish out the course strong. Let me know if you need help with anything. I appreciate the hard work you put in the course so far, and I look forward to the great things you're going to do this week. Good luck.